When you get to a rivalry game, you just want to play your best football as much as anything. Late in the year, we were a little banged up, really banged up in some areas. Some areas we weren't. When you have a rivalry game like this, you want to, start it off the way we started it off, taking the ball away, on the first play, but to not get any points then. Took away that momentum that we had early on. And the rest of the day was kind of that way. Big play by Blake Hayes, of course, deciding to run the ball on that fourth down play. But I think we missed a field goal, maybe missed a field goal on that one. Just not enough production on that side. And defensively, it's just tough when a team can run the ball on you like that. We're pretty banged up, as you can see, missing a lot of starters. Guys we put out there, I thought, did the best, played hard, wasn't good enough today. Had a couple injuries. Doug Kramer, of course, wasn't able to finish the game. That hurt us a lot. But we have another game coming up this week. We'll have to patch it up best we can and go. Take your question.
Okay, we'll start with Shannon and Ryan. Go ahead, Shannon, and then Mariah is on deck. Go ahead, Shannon.
Okay, thanks. Hi, Lovie. You mentioned, just being banged up on defense, two guys not being able to play because of COVID-related issues. Just that's kind of been the story of the season for a lot of teams. It seems like just not knowing who's going to be available because of that. Just how difficult does that make it beyond the injuries?
Hey, it's tough. We're missing seven defensive starters today. It's an opportunity for the younger players to go. And then when you get some more injuries, Derek Smith getting thrown out of the game, that didn't help the case. So you saw who we were playing at the end. But the guys fought. We got a chance to look at some of the younger players that we would ordinarily not get a chance to see. But still, we got to be able to play better than that. But Northwestern is representing our side of the conference for a reason.
And just one follow-up, when you look at the big picture, and like I said, every team's kind of faced unpredictable things this year, not knowing who's going to be out and protocols, but based off last year with the momentum you were gaining, why do you feel like it hasn't come together this year?
I think it's your initial statement that you made. There's a lot of things going on right now. For whatever reason, we've handled some things good, haven't played as well on the football field. From injuries to just us not playing good, just hadn't gotten into a good flow.
Okay, Mariah, we'll go with you next, and we'll keep with the folks that are here in Evanston for a remainder for a while here. Go ahead, Mariah. Jeremy, you're on deck.
I'm wondering what the reasoning.
We'll go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead, and you go. We'll come back, Mariah.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. Lovie, just where do you feel like your locker room's at right now with the struggle today?
Where's the locker room after you lose to your rival? Hey, Jeremy, it's disappointment today. We just lost a big football game. We're a little banged up. Got those things are on our mind. There's disappointments. Every locker room after loss is the same way. We didn't play well enough to win today. So it's not like we had opportunities to win, and we had chances early on. We didn't capitalize on them. Didn't play well enough to win. When you play like this, you're glad that you have another week to play, and that's where we are.
And I know you, the players, were expecting a big step forward this year. I know the COVID injury issues have come up, but what do you feel like you guys need to do in this final week just to get that push forward going into next year?
Just play a lot better. We've had some signs where we could be a good football team. When you're answering that question after a disappointing loss, it's going to be kind of skewed that way a little bit, and that's where we are. Got to score points. Offensively, we had most of our guys today weren't productive enough. Defensively, we had some guys out that still didn't play well enough. And overall, season-wise, I think that's kind of how it's been. We've seen signs, and we saw signs today, but got a chance to finish a lot better. As we're talking about the disappointment now, it would be pretty, big step for us to finish it off the right way.
Thanks, Lovie.
Well,
Okay, we'll go with Gavin next and then Colin. Go ahead, Gavin.
Hey, Lovie. Northwestern really had a lot of success running the ball today, rushing for over 400 yards. They really spread it around, but what did they do well to do that to you guys?
they blocked us, and we didn't tackle well. It's kind of simple as that. You saw the guys we were playing with. They blocked us a lot better. We didn't tackle well.
Right. You went with Isaiah Williams pretty early today after that backwards pass from Brandon. What did you think he brought to the table, and do you think he was able to get you guys going more steadily once he was in there for a while late in the game?
We scored 3 points until the end of the game, so we didn't get much going offensively. The plan was to play Isaiah some along with Brandon. Not a whole lot to talk about offensively as far as things getting started, getting going. We didn't get going.
Thanks.
Okay, Colin, you're up, and then Gabby, you're on deck. Go ahead, Colin.
Lovey, it seemed like for about two drives there during the first and second quarters, you guys were having some success running the ball. What in your mind kind of changed that just kind of grinded the offense to a halt there after that?
Well, I think when you say we're running the ball, we were moving a little bit. You got to be able to score to keep the momentum going. It's kind of simple as that. And even though we had our moments of, play here or there, couldn't sustain those drives. Of course, losing Doug Kramer hurt quite a bit.
And then on the defensive side of the ball, I know we talked about guys filling in. They held up pretty strong in that first half, but there were those penalties, the Derek Smith targeting, of course, but there were 2 other personal fouls. I mean, how do you use those moments for those young guys moving forward, I guess?
I think everything that happens to you, good and bad, is a teachable moment, and that'll be the case, especially with young players. We can't have, the ones that negatively, affected us negatively. Of course, the targeting, those are some things that you can control. And especially with our depth in the back end, we couldn't afford to lose another guy back there, and we did. I think guys see the effect something like that can have on the football team. Hopefully that's what we got from it.
Thanks, Lovey.
Well,
Okay, Gabby, you're up, and then John Supini on deck. Go ahead, Gabby.
Hi, Lovey. Obviously, with Brandon just completing a few passes this game, what do you think really led to him just struggling, or what do you think went wrong in the passing game?
it was a tough game passing, tough day for both teams passing. The conditions were pretty rough. We had some drops also. Again, we had a moments where, thought going in we would be able to, make some plays through that, but game, situation, all that kind of changed it an awful lot.
Thanks, Lovey.
You're welcome.
Okay, John Supini. Harry, you're on deck. Go ahead, John.
Coach, with over the last 5 years, what's Fitzy do so well that makes him so hard to beat? They just kind of seem to get it done.
I can talk about what we do, all right? What we didn't do today is what I can talk on a little bit. Couldn't stop the run, didn't tackle well, need to score more points on the offensive side.
Okay, Harry, you're up. Matt Stevens on deck. Go ahead, Harry.
Hey, Lovey, you spoke about the lack of depth in the secondary a little bit. A lot of teams, and your team I know included, has kind of a next man up mentality, but when you're missing guys that have that game experience, especially in a game like that, how do you think that really affects the offense, or the defense, with the lack of experience? Yeah,
I think all teams have the next man up, but I think the next man, you can run out, as we're seeing right now. And, you don't want to make excuses, but that's just so many guys. You can only go so deep, and you start seeing it. You can start giving up big plays. It affected us an awful lot today. Nobody wants to hear that, but that's reality, and that's where we are.
Thanks, Lovey.
Okay, we'll go Matt Stevens and then finish up with Shannon Ryan. Go ahead, Matt.
Lovey, can you talk about the effort of your guys that are healthy and that are out there today and that you saw in practice this week? Are you at all questioning the level of effort, not the level of execution, but the level of effort?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not questioning anything related to effort. The guys that we're putting out there, some of them haven't played an awful lot. They're giving us everything that they have. That's what's, difficult. That's tough. Sometimes when you see guys just playing their heart out and you're not seeing the results that you're getting from it, but that's where we are right now. We've got to stay the course, and hopefully we'll get a few guys back and And it'll help us going forward, knowing what some of these players that would normally be playing can do.
Thanks, Lovie. I appreciate it.
Okay, Shannon had her question answered, so that'll wrap up, Coach. We'll have a couple players here in just a moment. Thank you, everybody.